Good morning, Emerson. Hillary Clinton is facing yet another email scandal with just 1 week left before Election Day.
And the executive producers of the 36th Annual Evie Awards will be here to reveal the hosts of this year's show.
All that and more today, Tuesday, November 1st. I'm Claire Gomes.
And I'm Sean Stackhouse. We have a fun show for you this morning. Mary Malloy will be joining us, and she is going to teach us a fun way to de-stress.
And later we'll be updating you on the World Series and letting you know what to expect from the final few games. But now for a top story. Hillary Clinton, just 1 week before Election Day, is facing another FBI investigation into her emails. The FBI obtained a warrant to search a laptop of Anthony Weiner, which supposedly contains emails of Clinton campaign aide Huma Abedin. Abedin and Weiner were married but are separated after Weiner was involved in multiple sexting scandals. The laptop in question was seized as part of the investigation into said scandals, but was then found to contain these new emails. The emails are being searched to determine if they contain classified information, but Hillary Clinton insists that the FBI has no case.
Now they apparently want to look at emails of one of my staffers, and by all means, they should look at them. And I am sure they will reach the same conclusion they did when they looked at my emails for the last year. There is no case here.
FBI Director James Comey is under fire in the midst of this new scandal as he disclosed to lawmakers that there was another email investigation when there is so little time before the election. It is believed by Democrats that there is not enough time to properly draw any conclusions from the investigation before Election Day and that Comey made a mistake by disclosing the information. Republicans, on the other hand, are insisting that there is just another reason not to trust Hillary Clinton. Sean, do you think this is going to affect voters before the big day, or do you think we're too far in?
I think that we're too far in at this point. A lot of people have really made up their minds, and for an investigation to really be brought to completion and have a decisive decision made, I think it's going to happen past the 8th.
I completely agree, Sean. But there's a lot going on in the U.S. and the world outside of the election, and for that, we go to news correspondent Moses Small.
Thanks, Sean and Claire. There's a lot of news this morning, and here are the day's developing stories. Back in January, brothers Ammon and Ryan Bundy made news at the Malheur Wildlife Refuge in Oregon by holding an armed protest for 6 weeks. On Thursday, they were acquitted of charges of taking over federal property. The acquittals are a surprise to some, as the two brothers and the other 5 defendants were cleared of all charges except for theft of government property when they removed cameras of the wildlife base. Prosecutors argued that they used threats of violence to occupy the park, but the jury was more swayed by the defendants, who said that they were protesting overreach of the federal government. Oregon Governor Kate Brown expressed disappointment, saying that the protest didn't represent the values of the state. You're not alone if you've seen Standing Rock, North Dakota come up on your Facebook timeline recently. Boston will be having a Standing Rock support rally tonight at 5:30 to show solidarity with the Standing Rock Sioux tribe as they protest the construction of an oil pipeline. This and other rallies are part of a larger effort to demonstrate against the Dakota Access Pipeline. People are taking to Facebook as well and checking into Standing Rock to confuse authorities who are trying to get a count of demonstrators. This all started with a crowdsourcing campaign that grew to over $3 million and sparked demonstrations across the country. To learn more about the rally in Boston, you can see its event page on Facebook. Sharbat Gula was the face of one of the most famous National Geographic magazine covers in 1985 and was arrested in Peshawar, Pakistan on Wednesday. Gula became symbolic of the conflict in Afghanistan when she was photographed as a refugee 31 years ago. After a year of investigation, she was arrested in Pakistan for obtaining false country IDs, facing up to 14 years in prison if sentenced. Steve McCurry, the photographer that brought Gula to prominence, expressed outrage at her arrest and wants to send legal aid for her and her family. There are estimates that up to 1 million other Afghans have used fake ID cards as Pakistan picks up in its effort to repatriate all of its refugees. 17-year-old Gavin Grimm is a transgender student from Virginia and a plaintiff in a Supreme Court case about bathroom use. His family sued Gloucester High School a year ago for the right to use a bathroom that matches his gender identity, and this case is being reviewed by the Supreme Court. Grimm gave a speech about his experience after the hearing with his school board, so let's take a look.
Bullying is already an enormous problem for high school-age youth, and especially transgender youth. To hear adults of my community treat me as if I was a creature for their ridicule and observation or some oddity on a stage was incredibly dehumanizing to an extent I could not possibly convey.
Grimm is testifying against the Gloucester, Virginia School Board in a case that could affect others to come, and this story will develop as this case continues. That's all the news I have for you today. Back to Sean and Claire at the desk.
Thanks, Moses. Do you think that system we just implemented at Emerson College with gender-neutral bathrooms, gender diversity and all that, do you think we could implement a system like that in public schools?
I think that it is a feasible idea. It's definitely a trend that's catching on around the country, and I think if it's going to happen in one major city first, it should be Boston.
Thanks, Moses.
Now for today's weather forecast. Today in Boston, it will be mostly sunny with a high of 52 and a low of 45. As for tomorrow, it will be slightly less sunny out, but temps will be up with a high of 64. Into the night on Wednesday, it will dip down into about 53 degrees, but still a reasonable temp for this time of year in Boston. Make sure to enjoy these next few days because Thursday, there will be showers. Clara, yesterday wasn't too bad. Were you able to go out and trick or treat?
Definitely. I checked out some of the awesome houses in Beacon Hill. I know one had huge projections and everything, so it was fun to just walk around and see all the decorations.
I love Beacon Hill this time of year, but we have to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, Mary Malloy will show us how to make de-stress balls.
And when we come back, find out why Sean hasn't shaved his beard and Augie didn't when we sit down at Roundtable to discuss No Shave November. Welcome back to Good Morning Emerson.
Joining us this morning is health and fitness correspondent Mary Malloy. Mary, what are you going to show us today?
So today I'm showing you how to make very easy DIY stress balls. And these are really great for this time of year. We just had midterms and you just need to squeeze away your stress. It's really simple. All you need are water bottles filled with flour. You can get flour from really anywhere. We got ours at Walgreens. And what you're going to do, you're going to take a balloon, unscrew the water bottle, and you're going to take your balloon and put it around the rim, like so. See? And make sure it's fully on there because if it's not, flour will go everywhere.
So so just like that, I did it right?
Correct. Okay, see how this one is torn? You don't want that. So what you're going to do is you're going to tip it over like this and squeeze the bottle. And actually,
I think I'm going to take you up on one of these paper towels. I am definitely not the neatest person around, so
It's Sean.
it's okay.
just planning ahead.
So completely full on squeeze the bottle. Yep, and shake it as well. Like this.
Now, what's the best amount of flour to get in?
You want a good amount. I would say, yeah, you definitely need more. The flour in the bottle is...
Yeah, I get a lot of stress. I need a lot of flour. That's what they always say.
So you actually want, if you squeeze it right now, you'll see about the size that you'll get. I would go to the fact to put much more in. So, let me see. Yeah, that seems like a good amount. What you're gonna do is move the flour down so it's not right at the opening of the bottle, and flip the bottle like this so the flour isn't at the top. And just like how you make a water balloon, you're gonna take it off. And
This is the tricky part, I think.
All right.
there you go.
Messy.
Not
Sean,
too
you
bad.
did better than I
Yeah,
did.
you guys are
Look
doing
at
great.
that.
You didn't give yourself enough credit.
So now just tie it as you normally would. Nice.
Yeah, there we go.
Perfect.
Look at that.
And we have markers here, and my favorite thing to do is decorate it. And I've made one right here, and you write down what's stressing you. I have midterms, the election, roommates, some group projects, whatever you want. Just go
Perfect.
for it.
Awesome. So for this episode, I'm going to write Evie Noms. Since we have the executive producers here, something that stresses me out, nominations for Evie's. Look at that.
Nice.
But
This
don't
is
be
awesome.
stressed because when we come back, we're going to be letting you know who's hosting the Emmys this year.
Exactly. But now for an update on this year's extremely exciting World Series, we go to sports correspondent Augie Vanderveer. Augie.
Thanks, guys. Here's what's happening in the wild and oft-times wacky world of sports. Well, the World Series is certainly heating up with Cleveland amassing a 3-1 lead, eerily similar to the one the Cleveland Cavaliers overcame to win their title. No pressure, just a summer full of Warriors blew a 3-1 lead Twitter joke karma hanging over your head. Let's look at some Game 5 highlights. We'll start with an improbable Anthony Rizzo catch, follow that up with a beauty of a dinger by Jose Ramirez. Some Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better by Chris Sparkle Jesus Bryant. But what sealed the Cubs' win was Chapman's lockdown pitching to close out and put the Cubs only down 3-2 in the series. Let's see what they can pull off tonight. Patriots linebacker Jamie Collins has been traded to the Browns for a compensatory third-round pick. Collins, by all accounts, was a talented and effective LB, but the two sides were far apart on an extension with Collins' free agency coming up this summer. Collins reportedly wanted Von Miller money. The Browns no doubt have all this tied up with a handshake agreement on an extension for Collins, but if they don't, that would be peak Browns. The move may come as a surprise with the Patriots' defense lacking this season and Brady coming up on 40, putting the team in win-now mode, but Belichick is already far too good at this, so look for Collins to struggle in Cleveland and for the pick to be a Hall of Famer. Tony Romo, alleged great quarterback, is fighting for his job after Dak Prescott, rookie sensation, led a 10-point fourth-quarter comeback Sunday night against the Eagles. Dak has led the Cowboys to 6 straight wins and has built momentum for the team going forward with his effective and exciting play. Prescott ranks 3rd behind Brady and Matt Ryan for adjusted yards per throw and has already tied Troy Aikman's Cowboys rookie season touchdown record. But now Romo is back from his latest back injury, and the Cowboys coach Jason Garrett has a very big decision to make by asking Jerry Jones what to do. Do they go with the proven but aging vet, or do they bet on the future? It's a tough decision that will either way alienate half the fan base and tear apart the locker room. So exciting developments are no doubt underway. The Golden State Warriors, following a 73-win season and quite possibly the most successful free agency of all time, are tearing their own hair out. Why? Because they're dangerously close to going up 3-1 again. They started off the season with a 29-point home loss to San Antonio and followed that up with unconvincing wins against bad New Orleans and Phoenix teams. Kevin Durant was found shouting at himself while warming up. Both he and Steph Curry are throwing opponents to the ground in frustration. And Draymond Green, the player who single-handedly changed the finals with his physicality, says teams are intentionally roughing them up. Maybe this team with its collection of golden boys and enforcers is fundamentally flawed chemistry-wise, but big blowout wins would be covering this up much better. The main culprit is three-point shooting. Last season, they were an astounding and league-leading 42%, and this season they're shooting an abysmal and bottom 10 27%. And like most of our nation's problems, we can blame Klay Thompson and his terrible, no-good, very bad goatee. He's shooting 14% from 3, identical to teammate Ian Clark. If you just ask yourself who Ian Clark is, exactly. Kevin Durant has been carrying the group as they figure things out, which I'm sure was the idea when KD left OKC after 9 years about doing the same. But like the eventual heat death of the universe, they'll come around eventually, and we'll all be sorry we took anything from Tim Frazier giving Curry buckets. Who's Tim Frazier? Exactly. That's all we've got from sports this week. Back to y'all, Sean and Claire.
There's always a ton happening around Emerson's campus in the city of Boston, so Kate Nelson is hitting the streets to get the latest Emerson Buzz.
Good morning, Emerson. I am your Emerson Buzz host, Kate Nelson. Today reporting on some not so happy incidents that have been happening in the Emerson area. On September 25th, there were 7 stabbings right here at Tremont Variety Store. Although no Emersonians were harmed in this incident, it's still shocking and scary to our community. Right after the stabbings occurred, the Emerson Police Department set out a mass warning to all students and parents and locked down the campus immediately. It's scary to think that such horrible things happen so close to our campus. But we have an excellent police force on the job 24/7. The Emerson Police Force is here to protect you and all of us as Emerson students. After an incident occurs, within a matter of minutes, texts and emails are sent out to the entirety of the Emerson community. As well as that, it takes very few seconds for the Emerson Police Department to lock down the entirety of campus, keeping all of us safe. How did the two of you find out about the recent stabbings?
Through texts and phone calls from Emerson.
I found out through email, actually.
The incident that occurred on September 25th was a drunken brawl. The weapons involved were broken bottles and knives. Security guards tried to break up the fight, but to no avail. 7 people were stabbed and injured during this event. On October 7th, a second stabbing occurred, right here in the vicinity of Tremont and Boylston Street. Only 1 person was injured, and the Emerson and Boston police reacted very quickly.
A friend of mine from my literature class ran in. She's like, guys, there was a stabbing right outside LB. Like, be careful on your way home. And it was just kind of terrifying how unfazed I was by that. How just like, yeah, it's like the 2nd or 3rd one I've heard about since I got here. Like, it's not a big event anymore. And that's kind of terrifying.
We're lucky enough to live in Boston, right here in the middle of everything. But it's important for us to remember that cities are dangerous. It's important to always travel with a buddy, to stay away from dark alleys, and to trust your gut. Do you feel safe walking the streets of Emerson?
I mean, like now, during the daytime, yes, definitely, but at night, when there are less people.
The Emerson Police Force provides protection to all Emerson students on a 24-hour basis, 7 days a week. If you're ever walking home alone and feel a little frightened, give them a call and they'll escort you back to Emerson, back safely to your dorm. Have you ever used the ECPD escort services to get from LB back to Paramount or from Piano Row back to Paramount, like at nighttime or something?
I have not. Usually I try to travel in a group, though.
Do you both feel safe walking around your campus, the streets of Emerson?
I actually do, because ECPD is like very efficient with all of this, so it's cool.
Yeah, same. I have a lot of faith in their abilities.
As a lot of you know, we tap in every time we come into a building, and we sign all of our guests in and out. Emerson is a very safe place, although it's important for us to remember that we do live in a city where horrible things happen. We need to protect each other and stay strong as a community when things like this occur. Once again, I am your Emerson Buzz correspondent, Kate Nelson.
You may have noticed that we have a freshly shaved Sean Stackhouse on the show this morning, and that's because GME is participating in No Shave November.
No Shave November advocates for cancer awareness as well as feminist awareness. So we're going to be talking about some of the different things that have been going on, especially with this. Now, to start off No Shave November, I thought it was supposed to be about not shaving, but we can clearly see Augie still has some facial hair. Augie, what's going on?
Too proud to let it go. It's part of my identity. Once you have the beard and then you shave it, your chin looks terrible. Even though people have been looking at my chin for quite some time, but since I have the beard now, it's going to get some weird looks.
Now, Moses, you actually followed the rules. You came in clean shaven today. Are you going to be able to grow a full beard?
You know, we'll see what happens at the end of the month. It hasn't happened before. I usually get more than 3 or 4 hairs on my chin, but we'll see. Just for you guys.
And then I guess as the only girl at the table, I get to decide if I want to do No Shave November or not. I think it's a fun little feminist thing that can be kind of fun for girls to participate and join the cancer awareness movement. Augie, are you going to grow it out? Or are you going to trim it?
Absolutely. I'm not touching this thing ever again. It's, just get down to Dumbledore levels, and I'll just be stroking it, thinking of potions.
I'm excited for it. Now, do you think this is actually helping with cancer awareness, or do you think it's kind of just a fun way to get people talking about cancer awareness?
Well, if you follow some of the websites or follow up on the trend, just not shaving is probably not going to do anything for cancer rates in this country. But following the movement and then donating to the attached charities would help greatly.
And I think it's just getting people to talk about it is something that's really important. As we saw, like with the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, the fact that that was shared so much on Facebook, it really sparked a lot of donations for that. And the more people that participate in No Shave November, some may consider it silly, a small act, but just getting the word out there and promoting this is something that can do good.
I completely agree, Moses.
And of course, yeah, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge saw a lot of success, and I think the same thing should be happening here. It's just so well known, it's so fun, it's easy. I think it'll help a lot with cancer.
Especially with social media and posting pics of your beard progress. I think it's going to be a fun way to get the word out. Fun little ways like this to raise awareness about cancer. I remember when I was younger, we had those little I Heart Boobies bracelets for breast cancer awareness, and some of the proceeds went to breast cancer research. They may be silly at first, but I think they really do a good job of getting people talking.
Yeah, and I think that's a way that you can really start a conversation about it too. It doesn't have to be something serious or upsetting, but as long as you're getting the word out there, that's what's most important. But we have to take a quick commercial break. Unfortunately, Ruby Vishnik is under the weather today, but we do have Charlie Shermaine in studio with the latest entertainment news.
And later, the executive producers of the 36th Annual Evie Awards will be here to announce this year's hosts. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Good Morning Emerson.
We now go to Charlie Shermaine with the latest entertainment news. Charlie?
Hi, I'm Charlie Shermaine, and today I'll be telling you the latest in today's entertainment. Mark Salling, the Los Angeles DA office has issued a declination to Mark Salling's alleged rape. A 22-year-old woman filed a police report this April, 4 years after the acclaimed assault. The two were together when the woman told him she didn't want to do anything, which was when Salling allegedly forced himself upon her. They were dating for a couple of months prior to the event. The report is currently being reviewed. In addition to this, Sailing is embroiled in a child pornography case after he was arrested in December 2015 for possession of images and 2 videos of underage girls. He pleaded guilty in May. Jennifer Lopez is definitely with her. Lopez performed in a free concert in Miami on Saturday night to show her support for the Democratic presidential nominee, Hillary Clinton. J-Lo got extra patriotic by wearing an American flag-themed outfit and performing in front of a screen reading Vote. Clinton joined Lopez on stage, giving the singer a big hug before encouraging voters to get on the polls on November 5th. Clinton finished it off by saying, "It might be a little easy to forget that with all the fun and excitement and joy that you saw up on the stage today, Donald Trump is out there stoking fear." Raven-Symoné is returning to Disney Channel as Raven Baxter in a That's So Raven spinoff. Let's take a look at Raven herself announcing the exciting news on The View.
And we're doing a That's So Raven too. With no real title. There's no title yet, but I'm calling it That's So Raven 2 again. I'm very excited.
So what's the inside scoop? Are you going to be called Raven on the show?
Yes, it's Raven Baxter. I'm still me. I'm still Raven, but I am a mother this time, and I'm actually going to be a single mother raising 2 kids, and one of them is going to learn that she has visions.
Casting for the kids is currently underway. All of us here at GME are thrilled with this news and wait in anticipation for more about the show. I'm Charlie Sermain, and that's it for entertainment this week. Now back to Sean and Claire with the Evie's hosts.
Thanks, Charlie. We're glad to have you here. Hopefully, Ruby will feel better soon. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for, the Evie's host reveal. Joining us now are the executive producers of the 36th Annual Evie Awards, John Wyan, Sofia Alvarado Mendoza, Will Hart, and Justin Cobalt. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome. So are you guys excited for the big announcement?
Yeah. Everyone has been asking us, so we're finally going to be able to let them know who the 4 hosts are. So.
Yeah, that must have been a really difficult process to get that all together. What was it like actually having to pick the hosts?
It was pretty fun. Yeah, we had 2 long days of auditions. We heard from talent that it was a blast. We just we sang a little. They did a couple they did some stand-up, just read some things. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I think everyone enjoyed it.
What were you guys looking for in your Evie's hosts?
I think overall we're looking for people who just are very warm, fun, engaging, kind of invite the audience. Into the big show, so everyone, feels a part more connected with the show. Someone that they can relate to, I guess.
Now, with the host that you picked for the gala as well as the main stage show, is there going to be a different style in what each pair brings to the table?
Oh, absolutely, because the Gala and the Majestic are 2 completely different shows. And we sat down and we talked about what we needed for each show, and then went into host auditions looking for people who would fit that criteria. So it's just, you just have to, the Gala is an hour and a half and 2 people carry it all.
The Gala also now has 2 female hosts this year, which is a first for the Evie, so that's really exciting.
Which is amazing. Girl power all the way. Yeah. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. So let's see the video and find out who will be hosting this year's Evie Awards.
There you have it.
That was definitely worth the wait. Much anticipated. Now, the video, I'll go over to you, John. How was that to actually plan to get that set up and keep it a secret from everyone for so long?
I think it's always hard to kind of keep the anticipation waiting. Of course, planning the video is pretty crazy because we have such a short amount of time from when we actually decide who's actually going to host the show. So these two down here were crazy in the last week. But in terms of getting costumes ready and post-production and all the crew to film it was really pretty nuts.
Have them sworn to secrecy.
Yeah.
There was one moment where we were in the visitor center because we're both tour guides along with Ellen, who's one of the hosts, and I just shouted, I went, "Oh, we have to get Ellen's costume!" And like 3 people turned, and it was great. But it's fine. It's over now.
It's out, and we are all so excited here at GME. I'm so excited to see the show. So you mentioned that you picked them a little bit ago. How involved have the hosts been so far, and what is going to be their involvement going forward?
Well, our first step right now is writing the gala, so they are going to be pretty involved with that. We want them to be at writers' meetings. We want to have an interview with them, get a feel of their personalities, see how exactly we're going to write them, and then we're going to be doing a bunch of marketing videos to launch submissions, so things like that in the works.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are really just in the thick of things already, and the Emmys are so far away. Will, how is it been balancing your schedule with all of the amount of time you have to put into the Emmys?
Well, we like to say we have like 4 full-time jobs, the Emmys being one of them. But it's a project of passion. We love what we do, and we love working on the Emmys. So whether it takes 5 hours a week or 25 hours a week, we spend as much time as we can to just make this a great show and bring it to the Emerson community.
We here at Emerson really appreciate everything you guys do, and we are so excited. But unfortunately, that's our show for this Tuesday morning. Thanks for waking up with us.
Make sure to tune in again on Thursday. Have a great day.